The division is ours. I don't care what Houston did yesterday. They're going to go get their Letterman jackets again. The Indianapolis Colts are 2-6 against the Titans since Pat McAfee came up here and did his wrestling announcement. And the Jacksonville Jaguars, they haven't had back-to-back winning seasons since I was a senior in high school.
What's up, Titans fans, and welcome to another episode of the Titans Global Podcast. I'm your host, Maximus Titan Fan, and with me tonight is a new co-host, new addition to the podcast, Link. What's up?
Hey, I'm here. It's good to be here, guys. Excited about this. Coming off a tough loss, but let's talk some Titans and get into this thing. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, let's get into it. All right, so tonight we're going to talk, as we normally do, go over the game, which was less than ideal. And then we're going to talk on some burning issues or topics, whatever you want to call them, with the Titans right now. And then we're going to do our fan segment, and then we'll be out. So we'll start off with the stats. Quick rundown of what we did yesterday. Passing, Levis went 19 to 39, 199 yards, about a 5-yard average, no touchdowns, 1 interception, 53.3 quarterback rating, which isn't great, but considering the blocking he had yesterday, it's not bad.
Agreed.
He
did what he could.
Yeah, it's not bad. That's really all I'm going to say about Levis, man. A lot of people are giving him a lot of grief online right now, and I just don't see it. I mean, you got to give a guy at least 2.5 seconds. I mean, Come on now. That's the league average. Anyway, as far as rushing goes, man, Henry had 11 carries for 24 yards, a little 2.2 average. Spears had 5 carries for 18 yards, 3.6 yard average. Henry was only in the game for 24 snaps.
Yeah.
Where Spears had 36 snaps. Now, that's because we were passing more towards the end of the game, and that's why Henry wasn't in there as much. However, very first play of the game, Henry had a nasty block. Yep. Nasty, son. And if it wasn't for him, because Andre Dillard completely whiffed, if it wasn't for him, Levis would have been just annihilated on the very first play of the game.
Yep.
So, got to give a mad shout out there to Henry. He showed up when we needed him to in blocking. But anyway, he did not do well as far as the game goes. There was a lot of runs that he didn't have positive yardage or even had negative yardage. No blocking. Again, no blocking in the pass game, no blocking in the run game. It was awful, man.
Multiple times where he got the ball 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage and you got 3 dudes on him. I mean, before he's even touching the ball, he's getting tackled. And that when you can't get it going and your blocking is that bad, you can't use him. I mean, you can't keep him in the game because you can't run the ball. You can't get anything going in the pass game because you can't run the ball. I mean, just kind of a tough day for Henry, and I can't put it on him. Got to put it on that line again.
Yeah, and I'll say one thing about, about being a Titans fan for a long time. I've always said, look, man, we might not have the best pass blocking offensive lineman, which has always been kind of our case, except for a couple years. But, man, we can run block like great, man. So we don't have to pass block as great, because we use play action and all kinds of other things. Man, we can't block anything right now. We can't block my 8-year-old little girl, dude. No. It's sad.
No, and if you look at the one successful run Henry did had, I believe it was like a 9 or 10 yard carry. If you watch the tape, the only reason he broke that is because he starts to the right and makes an awesome cutback to the left. And the only reason he hits it is because the blockers are already in the backfield on the right. And I mean, good on him to see that and to make that cut. But that's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, it was a brutal game to watch. But at the same time, I don't know. It gave us direction. You know what I'm saying? It gave us direction, so we at least know where we're going now. Or Anyway, I don't like to talk about that because I love winning and I hate losing.
Yeah, agreed.
It's going to be a really long season for me.
Yeah.
Receptions. We did spread the ball around good. So that's nice. I've said that the last 2 weeks, which is a nice thing to say instead of, saying, oh, well, everything went to D-Hop or Treylon Burks or NWI almost exclusively. Mm-hmm. But we had Phillips, Spears, Hopkins, Chig, Moore, and Wiley all with multiple receptions. That's awesome. Although D-Hop was targeted 8 times and only came down with, 3 catches. No, he was targeted, 8 times. Yep, 3 catches. Too many targets towards D-Hop, in my opinion. Phillips was on fire.
Again.
Yes.
Again.
Gotta give this kid credit. All right, look.
Love it.
I have decided, and I don't care if anybody agrees with me, the kid should never be on special teams again.
No.
Never.
No.
Ever. Not only is he's not, the greatest at securing the ball, or at least in his short little career we've seen him in. But, man, homeboy hasn't, knock on wood, hasn't gotten injured, even though he's taken some pretty big shots on the field.
Yep.
And, it just makes me question how much of a difference is there really when you're returning a ball? I mean, does that really make that much of a difference that guys can... I mean, is it really that much different? But I guess it is. I mean, there are some nice collisions, though. Oh, my God. Did you see that one of the Arkansas game?
Yeah. I did.
Oh,
yeah. You talk about a hit.
Yep. And dude just gets up, walks away like it, like it wasn't nothing,
good.
dude.
Yeah.
He didn't brag. He didn't say nothing to the guy. He just got up and walked away.
Yep.
But actually really cool.
To go back to that and not to get away from Phillips and take away what he's doing as a receiver now, but I feel like you've got a punt returner now. I mean, Garrard did not look scared to catch those punts. I mean, and he stepped up. Now on the kick returns, there was a couple I feel like he should have probably brought out, and there was one I feel like he shouldn't have brought out. But on the punt returns, I mean, he looked pretty fearless. So I think you've got a pretty good punt returner in him. I don't want to see Phillips on special teams anymore either. I feel like let him be in that receiver slot. Let him take care of business there because he's something special, and I feel like he's going to be an X factor going forward for sure.
I agree. And in the offseason, I was like, let's use him like Debo Samuel, have him doing like jet sweeps and stuff like that. And I honestly think we still could use him that way, but I don't know. I really like him as a slot receiver. Yeah. I can say that. And he did really well on I think he had one screen pass. That he did really well on. I don't know. I haven't rewatched the tape again.
Yep.
Sorry, guys. I've been slacking on y'all. But that's pretty much it. The NWI, Derrick Henry had horrible numbers in receiving. Everybody else did decently, other than Phillips and Hopkins, who had a really good game. Spears had a pretty good game. 4 for 42 yards. That's sweet, man.
Yeah.
I wish Matthew Maddox brought it up right here. I wish we would use him more effectively like that in those situations where he can get out on the edge or get in some space, because that's where he really does the damage, is in between defenders, not running up the ball or up the middle.
Here's the problem I think you're having to kind of answer his question. I saw a stat today. If you look at the most pass blocking by skill players, so you got 3 players. So we're talking about skill players, tight ends, wide receivers, and running backs having to come in and pass block. Wesco has 68 pass blocks. That's the most by tight ends in the NFL. NWI has 7. Believe it or not, that's the most in the NFL. Tajay Spears on true pass sets has 37 pass blocks. That's insane. When you're having to bring in your skill position guys to pass block on that many plays because your offensive line can't hold up, what do? You can't get him the ball. And to be fair, when he does get the ball, he makes the most of his opportunities. But Tajay Spears should not be blocking 37 times for pass protection. And right now he has to, but that's got to change. Your skill position players need to go be skill position players. They can't be in there to pass block because your line can't hold up.
Absolutely, man. You're completely taking, someone who can, like you said, skill players. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yep.
It's killing us, man. Wiley is doing the same thing. They're using him primarily to chip people, and I'm like, what? Why are you? Yeah, exactly, Matthew. Exactly. It's chip blocks, man. It's killing Wiley, man. And I don't know if you follow him or not, but Tic Tac Titans on Twitter or Tyler Rowland, he brought up a great point. That dropped touchdown by Chig. Yeah. At some point, those got to be Wiley's reps, man. I mean, they got to be. Yep. He's big, tall. He can go up and get the ball. I mean, they got to start using him correctly. When you get close to the red zone or in the red zone, Wiley needs to be the primary tight end target, not anybody else.
Yep.
But, what do I know? As far as the defense goes, I'm just going to name off a couple standouts for me. Okay. I'm not going to run down all the stats of the defense because it's stupid and it takes up your time and my time as well. The biggest standout to me, always the biggest standout to me is the tackle leader. This week it was Harold Landry. He also had a sack and a tackle for loss, but he also played 52 snaps, which is one of the highest snap counts of the defense.
Yep.
Period. Not defensive line, not linebacker. That's the highest or one of the highest of the defensive. Period. That's crazy. He should not be in that many snaps and only have that production at what we're paying him. I think it was his 5th sack of the year.
Yep.
What the hell, man? Sorry.
Yeah.
Just to run down real quick, Al Shair, he's had 6 tackles. He's still our leading tackler. He's still doing pretty well as a middle linebacker. I'm not upset with him, but he had 57 snaps, which is the highest on the defense. Simmons had 4 tackles. He had a pass defended.
Yeah, I did.
Played 47 snaps. Autry really came on, man. But he's the way they have to use him because of his age and stuff like that, he only gets 36 snaps in this game. And I understand that one. So I'm not pushing for him to get more snaps. But in those 36 snaps, comparing it to Landry, okay, he got 3 tackles, 1 sack, tackle for loss. And Landry's got 9, 1 sack, and 52 snaps. In 36 snaps, Autry almost had his production, which is just, it's very scary. And yeah, again, Matthew bringing up a great point here. Basically reiterating what you were saying, that Garrard has done well.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to look for another punt returner or kick returner. In my opinion, I think Spears is doing well at the kick returning.
Yep.
Anything you want to add to the defense? Other than the defensive back sucking?
Biggest thing for me, I see a lot of these DB blitzes bringing in cornerbacks on these blitzes, and that's what's leading to a lot of these chunk plays. And hey, when Dean Pease was here, they did it. They had success, but you're not. And I see it on multiple plays. You're bringing these DB blitzes, and you're not getting there. And it's the same way even when you're not blitzing. You're trying to rush 4 or 5, and that's great, but you're not getting there. And that's what's leading to a lot of these chunk plays. And I feel like now, given this defense is only averaging 20 points a game, they're only giving up 20 points a game. That's 10th best in the NFL. I mean, the defense is doing enough to help you win games. Are they great? No. Are they going to get pressure every single game on every single play? Absolutely not. But they're doing enough. So I can't really fault the defense. I mean, now the Pittsburgh game was pretty rough as far as getting pressure, but some of these blitzes that they're scheming up, I'm not understanding it. I mean, when you're getting beat over the top every other play and you're sending your cornerbacks in on a blitz, I mean, that's just not going to work. That's not going to lead to success. So some of these schemes I feel like have to be changed up.
Yeah, man. And I mean, another thing that really gets on my nerves is the dropping Harold Landry into coverage.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? There is
Yeah.
no reason to put Harold Landry into cover ever.
Yeah.
Ever. That might be why he has 57 snaps or 50 whatever snaps and only the production that he does sack.
Yep.
Quit dropping him into coverage every single game. I have to say that.
I feel the same way about Aziz. I mean, another point when you're bringing these DBs on blitzes, there was multiple times where I see Aziz 20, 30 yards downfield defending a receiver. And I'm just like, this is your inside linebacker. Now I get it. He's got a helping coverage. He's kind of a coverage linebacker. But come on, man. I just, he's not a 20, 30 yard downfield pass defender. Some of the schemes are kind of blowing my mind. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, it just it was an all around not a great game.
Yep.
All right, so I've got Scoob here backstage. You ready to come on, buddy?
Sure.
What's up?
Let's go. How y'all doing?
What's going on, man? Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How y'all doing?
Pretty
Doing
good.
Great. Anybody that doesn't know, you should know. This is Scoob from Twitter. He is he was my choice for super fan, but I didn't get my way. But that's okay. I'm not upset by that. Don't put me out on there saying otherwise. I'm not. I'm just saying that that's who I wanted it to be. But
I appreciate that. Chili deserves it though. He works hard.
That's what I'm saying, man. Anybody who takes the time to go to every game, even though he doesn't, live not only in the same state but in the same country, that's pretty amazing. You know what I mean? That's a commitment right there. And
he's the OG for sure.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's hardcore. So basically, Scoob, we were just talking about the game and how disappointing it was on a lot of different facets. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Man, it's just, it's awful, isn't it? I mean, the team lacks so much talent now, and oh man, it's just where do you want to start?
Yeah, that's really it. Where do you start with a game like that? Offense is bad.
The number one problem is the offensive line, and I mean it's just like
what offensive line?
Exactly. Like I told my friend today, I said, man, if I took your backbone away, what could you do? You can't walk, you can't talk, you can't run, you can't do anything. And that's the backbone, the offensive line is the backbone. Without that, we can't do anything. And like I told my buddy, I proved the point. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter who the running back is. It doesn't matter what wide receivers are out there. If you don't have no time, it doesn't matter.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I get upset when people are saying, "Oh, we need to tank and go get Marvin Harrison Jr." And I'm like, "Y'all, a wide receiver in the first round ain't going to cure nothing. We need offensive linemen. We need people that can block people." Yes. And there ain't a great free agency lineman that I see right now coming out unless we get a surprise. Which we do get surprises, but right now
unless they use some of that money and steal somebody.
Well, now, yeah, we could do something like that, and that wouldn't be. I wouldn't be upset by it. That's for sure.
No, sir.
As long as they're better than what we got.
Couldn't get much worse.
Well, I said that last year. I was like, "Oh, there ain't nobody in the NFL worse than Daly."
Here we are.
Yeah, man. Dillard's numbers are worse than Daly's, man. And another thing I want to bring up real quick because we're kind of almost transitioning into our next topic of what I wanted to talk about, which is left tackle.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I'm seeing a lot of stupid people, I'm seeing a lot of incorrect people on Twitter. They're coming out and they're just saying, well, we were asking for Dylan Radins and we got Dylan Radins and he was terrible. Well, okay, that's not exactly true. I mean, it is because he did play at left tackle and he wasn't the greatest. However, he practiced at right guard the entire week.
Hasn't he played every position so far?
Pretty much, yeah, except for center. Yeah, he's played pretty much every single position on the line. But my point is if you're running backwards to the right, and then all of a sudden you're running backwards to the left, it's a whole different. It's a whole different thing. You know what I mean? It's
the only complaint.
Well, it's bad when they scheme on your left tackle and put their nose tackle and right in, and and blitz. And I mean, come on.
When you look at that first drive, the Titans were moving the ball. I mean, Levis was getting the ball out quick. It was a perfect design. They get down to the red zone, and Tampa Bay says, "Okay, you want to do this? We're gonna take our inside guy, Vita Vea, put him on Dillard, and he just dog walks Dillard back
All the
into
way.
Levis. I mean, it was bad. It looked ugly.
All the way.
The only complaint I've got on Radens are the penalties. Those 2 false starts back to back, that cannot happen. I don't care where you play on the line. There's no excuse for 2 back-to-back false start penalties. I mean, he was seeing ghosts on those penalties. The sacks, I get. He moved positions. The penalties are the one thing I have a big problem with.
Yeah,
penalties have been huge for the whole team all season. It's been awful.
Yeah, it's not a typical Mike Vrabel team, that's for sure. We haven't been the last 2 years though. With our discipline,
I mean, you look at those defensive penalties where they, I mean, they move 45 yards down the field on penalties in one drive.
Yep.
Well, dude, even when we get a good penalty for us, when they called that catch a no catch, then they just bombed for 12 more yards or whatever on the very next play.
Oh yeah.
Our defensive back play right now is just sad. Somebody asked me how they could trade away Kevin Byard, and I was like, well, it's not like we got worse. I mean, we did, but you can't really tell that much of a difference, can you?
Kevin Byard doesn't change that game. He doesn't.
No. Maybe a little bit in the run game, but no.
That's what I'm saying, man. It's disappointing that I didn't think we were going to be quite this bad. And that's a little disappointing to me, but it's all right. Yeah, exactly. Facts are facts. It's just the way it is. It's just like this. The fact Michael Newsom brought up a great fact right here. Kyle Phillips has more yards and catches than Burks with fewer targets. So there's the big disappointment for this year. Him and Chig are my 2 biggest disappointments for this year. I really had high hopes for both of those guys breaking out. And both of them have continued to disappoint me. The fact that Burks can't even get on the field for more than a game just hurts my heart. And Chig can't catch anything, which is even worse.
It just seems like the Titans have the worst luck with wide receivers since the beginning. I mean,
well, again, this is Robinson's picks. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
even
before
Robinson's picks.
It just seems like even before Robinson, we're terrible at picking wide receivers.
Okay, yeah, I'll give you that. We're not great at picking the guys out.
No, sir.
And even when we do, we trade them away.
Yeah. Exactly.
Anyway. Oh, whoa. Now hold on. We got to clear up something here. I don't understand why Jeffrey Simmons is your biggest disappointment, because he's actually been balling out this year. He doesn't have the huge production or numbers that he normally has, but no, dude, he's right up there with pressures on defensive tackles.
I mean, did you see how many times they double teamed him in that game? I mean,
and not only that, he's clearing the lane for other players. I mean, I think it was a Landry sack where Simmons
not making plays.
Yeah,
he's making, and they're not making plays.
Yeah, I mean, Simmons in the backfield, and he's clearing the way for other guys to come in and finish. I mean, I've got no complaint on Simmons thus far.
And he was on the Derrick Henry touchdown, not like yesterday, but the week before that.
Right.
That was him. I mean, he cleared the way for that. I don't have any
complaints with Simmons. He needs help.
He got a big payday. Yeah, he sure did, man, because he's one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. And that's why they double team him every single play. It's just the fact that nobody's around him. Yes, that's what I was just about to say. Nobody. Look at how many. I can't remember how many snaps Tart had. But, 27 snaps for Tierra Tart versus 47 for. I mean, and there was only like 57 or 58 in the entire game for the defense. So, I mean, Tierra Tart's only on the field for half the game. Why? He was, I mean, I understand why. Dude's a little thick in the middle, but he produces well. And he was putting up pressure. When him and Simmons are together, it seems there is a better chance of success than when he's off the field.
Exactly.
Yep.
I just don't. And again, Arden Key had a really low snap count. And I don't quite understand that. You know what I mean? Because he has
Has he
been
been a letdown for you? For me, I mean, he's been mediocre.
I
mean,
I
he's
wish
not
his sack numbers were better, but his pressure numbers are off the charts.
Agreed.
right. I
For
mean, he
his
has one
snap
good
count.
game, one bad game, one good game, one bad game. I mean,
And somebody said something about his run coverage, and I was like, "Yo, dude, I don't know what you're watching, but he does great against the run. So I don't know, I don't know. I just don't understand why he's not getting bigger snap. Him or Gibson, to be honest, because they're kind of both out playing Harold Landry right now, and just because we gave him a bunch of money, that's what I hate about professional football. Just because you give a guy a huge contract, he's going to be your starter throughout the season, no matter what, whether he's good or bad.
right.
You could have way more talented people behind him, and they're just going to continue to play him anyway. It boggles the mind for me. If I was a coach,
That's a
I
lot
wouldn't
of
care
money,
how
man.
much money I paid somebody. I want the best players on the field.
Yeah.
When you pay a guy $30 million, you expect him to block.
Well, I get it. I mean, I do. I get that. I pay you, $25 million a year to sack the quarterback, not to.
I mean,
why are you dropping him into coverage, though, bro?
Yeah.
At least
Dillard's getting paid to do one thing, and he is struggling at that so bad.
Do you think he comes back in once he clears concussion protocol, or do you think
who else do we have?
I mean, you can keep Radens. Who was the who took over at right guard? It was the undrafted free agent. Is it Rutledge?
Oh,
yeah, Rutledge played. Yes, sir.
So could you? I mean, he held up, I guess. I mean, could you keep him there and keep Radens at left? No, you don't think so?
Well, you could keep Radens at left and him at right, yes. But I thought you were going to say try Rupsich at left. I was going to say no, that ain't never going to work.
No.
The only options we have at left tackle is Radens and really Radens and Dillard.
Yeah,
I mean that's really
and what kills me is why they won't give Skoronski a chance over there. I mean,
well, and again,
I get it. I
hate to give other people credit, but Tic Tac brought up the best point in the beginning of the preseason when he said, if you move Skoronski to left tackle, you're getting worse at two different positions, left guard and left tackle.
We're already worse at two different positions. I mean,
I'm just saying, I'd rather have an all-pro guard than a mediocre tackle. Well, and I don't want his ego to get hurt any.
I was going to lead to this too. At this point in the season, are you at the point now where it's like, you know what, we're going to try some different, like Jalen Duncan? Do you bring him in for some snap? I mean, are you at the point now where it's like we're just going to see what can work and kind of throw? And you're kind of already doing that anyway. But I mean, I kind of want to see what these guys got, like Rutledge,
what's it gonna?
Duncan.
What's it gonna hurt? What's
exactly.
It gonna hurt?
Well, other than Will Levis, because you might hurt.
I tell you what. He showed some toughness yesterday, He really did. He got hit pretty hard.
Yeah, but I don't want him looking like that every game.
I know.
Yeah, no, I don't either. But maybe Duncan can come in and do better. We don't know.
Literally in my notes for left tackle, I've got that Radens, played on the right and not the left. But Duncan, I've literally got as a note here that just says, why not? Because, I mean, we tried everything else. Why not? But
hell, right now, Maximus, I'd put you at left tackle. I mean, we got to do something.
I will say this, though. There is something for cohesion. You know what I mean? Like I was happy to see that we had pretty much kept everybody in the same spots where they were last week. And I thought that was really intelligent and really good, other than the fact that I wanted Radens on the left. But beyond that, if Dillard doesn't clear concussion protocol for this week and Radens gets a full practice at left tackle, I don't know. It could look pretty good. Maybe have Duncan sub every now and then on right, other than Rupsich. I don't know if Rupsich is better, or I don't know why they don't give Duncan a chance, because the only couple times I saw him on the field, he was just manhandled. Of course, they were run blocks.
He's a 6th rounder. That's why.
Well, that's a good point. But I mean, right now it's like, well, like I said, why not? But
it just seems like them guys got to earn it more. Seems like them guys, they got to earn it more than a 3rd round or a 2nd rounder. Like they got to prove more to get on the field sometimes, to me.
I don't know.
like
For me, it's
why
just
hasn't
like if
Colton
you're
Dow
doing
had
better,
any
I'm gonna go.
chances? I mean,
Don't get me started on that, bro. Because
Yeah.
I'll literally get on a soapbox and be 30 minutes talking about Colton
is he
Dow and
not
why is
playing
he
well
not.
in practice, or is they just
From what I understand, no, he's doing everything right.
right?
He's doing 100% everything right. He has all the skill and the talent, the right body set. Just Vrabel don't like rookies. I mean, he really don't. He don't
Well,
really play
he makes
rookies
them
at
work
all.
for it. You know, he just doesn't give it to them. That's the thing. He's
I
old
guess,
school
but I
about
mean,
that.
that was one of the things that really upset me about his post-game press conference was how critical he was of Will Levis. And I'm like, bro, it's his third start, man. I mean,
Right.
and he's a kid.
Yeah.
He's a kid. He's half my, well, not quite half my age, but still, he's almost half my age. That is a kid, bro.
Yeah.
What are you
Right.
doing talking about? Oh, well, he didn't do great, but, probably could have had a couple passes back. It's like, yeah, I know, dude, but you save that for the meeting Monday. You don't just jump into that right after the game. I mean, it almost seemed like he did the same thing after his 4 touchdown performance in the tunnel afterwards. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but I don't know, man. Like I said, that's the last topic we're going to talk about because that's the fan question. But the other thing that we're going to talk about is we're not getting any better this year.
No.
I just
You
saw
can't
somebody.
fix the O-line this year.
I think it was Matthew Maddox here. Let me scroll back up the comments, but it said something about can we not find someone better than Dylan or Dillard in UFD? There it is, UFDA, XFL, anyone. And unfortunately, nah, man.
No,
I mean, that's the whole thing is yet nobody else out there any good. So that's just the way it is. It's
right. It's offensive line or we need them.
Oh, Michael Newsom cracking me up right there. That is true though. It's not untrue. It just says that Wet Mop Sign could do better than Dillard. It's just a slam on Dillard.
Well,
but
and it just seems like everybody be put in that spot. I don't know if the spot's cursed or if just our bad selection of players. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I said earlier, I hate losing, and I know this is going to be a rough season for me because the Titans haven't been a losing team in a long time, or at least for me. It's been like 4 years or 5 years or something. We've had this winning seasons, and it's friggin' awesome because I grew up with 4-12 and 5-11, and every now and then we'd have a 3-13 season or 13-3,
me too,
and then we go right back to 4-12, and it was like, man, why? But anyway, the point is it's hard for me to say this, but it might not be the worst thing in the world for us to lose as many games as possible. I hate saying that. I really do because I hate it.
But
we have a 4% chance right now of even getting into the playoffs.
Yeah.
Nevertheless,
we
don't
belong in the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. And if we end the season even 7-10, we're right back in the middle of the pack, man. We're at like pick 14, which is where you don't want to be.
Yep.
That's draft not picks are the 50-50 though, right? I mean, we never know.
But you tell me it's not easier to land 100% pick in the top 10 than it is the top 20 or the 10 to 20.
Well, I mean,
tell me there ain't a huge difference in between the top 10 tier or the top 5 tier even, and then the lower teens. There's a huge difference.
You look at all the Titans past top 10 picks, and how many of them have hit?
That's true.
How many? Not many.
That's true.
Not many.
Well,
I'm talking first round, top 10.
I mean, we've got as far back as I can remember here, Vince Young, who was a good player.
But he didn't do anything. He was washed out. He had one good season. One good season.
He literally left the NFL with a winning record. I'm not saying he was a great quarterback because he had a lot of off-season issues, but as far as a player, it was there. He just.
But yeah, I get that. But he didn't turn out. Right.
I mean, that was really the issue. Fisher pushed him to a really bad point because he was forced onto Fisher. I'm not blaming Fisher for what happened to Vince Young, but that is exactly what happened. I feel bad
He
for the guy.
wasn't ready to be an NFL quarterback.
I agree with that too. I don't think he was ready for all the starting. But all right, let's forget about him. Oh, come
So
on.
I'm gonna go. I've got it right here. So we'll go from let's just say 2011. Round 1, pick 8, Jake Locker.
Okay, yeah, that sucked.
Okay.
Right.
Next year, Kendall Wright at pick 20. Yeah.
Exactly.
Chance Warmack at pick 10.
Don't want to talk about it.
Terry Lewan at pick 11 in 2014.
One hit.
Score. Yeah.
Mariota was 15.
Okay.
Exactly.
Then you go get Jack Conklin, who Jack Conklin was
a hit, but what did he do? We traded him off.
And then you go Corey Davis, Adoree Jackson, Rashaan Evans, Jeffrey Simmons, Isaiah Wilson. Tell me that one doesn't come back to bite you in the ass.
That's the worst pick anyone's ever made.
Caleb Farley, Traylon Burks.
That's right up there with Ryan Leaf, dude.
Yep. Three hits since 2010. Since 2010.
All right. I mean, way to prove me wrong, man. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, we suck at picking in the first round.
Now, I do think Carthon gives you a better chance in the draft. I think he understands personnel and look at the rookies this year. I mean, you got Spears.
Everybody made the team, right?
Yeah.
Every one of his drafts made the team.
Not only that, man. Like you were just about to say, Skoronski is in a starting position.
Levis.
The top 3 picks. Yep. Levis is in a starting position, and so is Spears.
Yep.
Wiley is not starting position, but he's
right there.
Playing. He's on the field, that's your top. Well,
he's playing. I think Wiley
was he a 5th round pick? I think he was a 5th round pick, not a 4th, right?
Skoronski was
first.
Yep.
Then we traded up for Will Levis, so we lost our 3rd round pick. Maybe it was a 4th round pick.
It was a 4th round because you had.
We had Spears and
Then you had
Yes.
All right, so still though, top 4 picks, all of them. Playing first season. That's a home run right there.
Yep.
I mean, seriously, I don't care about the other picks.
And some of his free agent signings hit.
Unbelievably good. Yeah.
Yep. I'm really excited to see what he does with $100+ million in cap space. My only thing is can you keep the players you've got now that you want to keep? Can you keep them bought in through the rest of this season to be able to go get some guys in next season and bring a team together? That's my only fear. Can you keep the guys that you've got now that you want to keep? The DeAndre Hopkins, the Will Levises, the Tajay Spears. Can you keep them bought in enough to bring guys in next year and compete?
I think
you can't let them lose confidence. You think?
I think Vrabel can. I'm still a firm believer in Vrabel. I know everybody wants his head. Fire Vrabel, but if we fire Vrabel, then we're starting all over again.
That's true. That's what I said earlier. Do you really
all over again
in this AFC South going against these rising teams? Do you really want to be on a coaching carousel going into the next 2-3 years?
And do you want to hire another coach that's lost 100 games that's trying to prove himself again?
It's tough. That's a tough decision.
I have a lot more faith, and I hate to say this because I do like Mike Vrabel. Don't get me wrong, but I have a lot more faith in Rand Carthon as a GM than I do Mike Vrabel as a head coach.
Yep.
Right.
And
when Vrabel has talent, he can win.
That's my point, man. Vrabel gets the most out of the veteran players that are on his team. Notice I said veteran.
Right.
Because rookies do not develop well under Mike Vrabel.
Yep. True.
Now, is that Vrabel's fault or is that the draft pick?
That's a good question.
I think
both.
I think personally it goes back to Vrabel because of what I talked about a little bit earlier with the promotion, with the people in the coordinator and the specialty positions.
Right.
You've got to have, if you're not a developing coach, if you're not a developing coach and you can't develop rookies, you've got to bring people in who can. And I don't feel like he's brought in the right staff to this point. I don't feel like he's brought in the right staff to this point to be able to develop these players for the future.
And I think Rand will change that. I
hope
Rand has the power to tell Mike Vrabel to sit down. I'm changing this guy, and you're gonna have to deal with it.
Yep. I hope.
Well, I mean, to an extent. I mean, really, it's the head coach's decision who the coaches under him are. That's why Mike Munchak left when we got Mike Vrabel because he refused to fire Terry Rabinski.
Right.
And, you know, he ended up losing his job over that. But I don't know if it'll go that far with Mike Vrabel simply because he fired Todd Downing, you know, and got Tim Kelly in here, which I don't think was one of his super buddies. But still, again, it's almost like it is a buddy hire because he did, you know, play with him at Texas.
If Todd Downing doesn't drink on that plane, does he get fired, though?
Probably not.
I don't think so. I don't think
not.
I don't think so.
Please don't do that. Okay, look, I
don't
need
think
to
so.
think that yes. Okay. Look, besides the fact that he has like an archaic style of playing football, that's my biggest knock on Vrabel is his assistants and who he brings in. And man, that plus the I'm gonna just smash mouth you to death, run football.
Right.
It kills me about Vrabel. I love him.
So if the Patriots called you today and said, I want to give you 2 first-round picks for
Done.
Vrabel.
Done.
Instantly?
You said 2.
Right.
All you had to do was say 2 first round.
That's what it's going to take, right?
1, I'm going to have to think about it. But 2,
if you
absolutely.
get a 2024 and a 2025 first round, that's 4 major players that you could get for one coach.
Peace. And then we go to the Lions and we steal their offensive coordinator for our new head coach.
Right. Right. It'd be hard, man. It'd be hard to say no. I know it's just whatever, but it'd be hard to say no to a deal like that.
Look, could you imagine if he goes to the Patriots and wins a Super Bowl with Mac Jones, though? I mean, this place would be on fire.
I was going to say, you talk about salt in the wound, man. Holy crap.
Jeez.
Now, like I said, I don't want Vrabel gone. You know, I don't.
Yeah.
But
since
I just
we're
see
on
where
this
people
subject,
been saying that, and I mean, it'd be hard to say no.
I agree. But since we're on this subject, I throw out always, you know, a fan question of the week. This week, Brandon Williams had a pretty good question, which is what the topic we're on right now. But he says, what has Vrabel done over the past 2 years to warrant keeping his job? Now, before you answer that, you've got to remember that Vrabel was hired in to a winning team. Mm-hmm. He was hired into a 9-7 team. Mike Munchak went 9-7 the season before Mike Vrabel got our team and went 9-7. So I'm not saying that Mike Vrabel ain't a good coach. I'm just saying he got the exact same amount out of the guys that Mike Munchak got.
Which I didn't want him fired. I loved Mike Munchak.
I loved him as a line coach.
I
did not like him as a head coach.
Right. Well, we were winning.
But it was his stubbornness that he wouldn't. Right. I mean, everybody was like, "Get rid of the offensive coordinator. He's terrible." I know, and that might be his downfall.
I'm going to take emotions out of it. You're 3-13 in the last 16 games.
Right.
On Friday, it will be a full calendar year since you have won a road game. A full calendar year since you've won a road game. Taking emotions out of it. I like Mike Vrabel. I like the moxie he's got. I like the attitude he's got. Looking at the box scores, looking at the numbers, he ain't it.
That's another thing that bothers me about Vrabel is his demeanor in his interviews and on the sideline. Now, I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, well, you know, he was part of the Belichick, so that's just the way he does interviews." No, that's fine. I can take that. You know, maybe he just has a shitty day, which I have bad days too. Excuse my language. We all have bad days. But on the sidelines, every single game, stone face. Yeah. Same thing. Doesn't matter if we're winning by 20 or losing by 20. He has the exact same expression on his face. And that drives me insane because
Vrabel's really not in the Belichick coaching tree, right? He didn't coach with Belichick. He just played for Belichick. So that's what bothers me sometimes when people say, "Oh, well, he's in the Belichick coaching tree." I don't really think he was ever in their coaching tree. He was a player.
Wasn't he like a linebackers coach or something like that?
But not really. He's not really in their coaching tree, I don't think. But I mean, I could be wrong.
You know what? I'm going to have to research that. I really thought he was at least for a season or two.
No, I know he coached for Ohio State, right?
He was with the Texans. He was with Houston,
and then he went to Tennessee, right? So that's what trips me out when people say, "Well, he's in the Belichick coaching tree." I don't really think he was ever in their coaching tree. I feel like he was a player.
Well,
which
he
I
just
guess that's what they're
reminds
saying.
everybody of Belichick, I think, is what it
No,
is.
he has never coached alongside him, from what I'm saying.
Exactly. So when people say he's
Good
in
call.
there, Billy, I was like, well, really, he's not.
Mhm.
He's kind of.
Well, he sure
I think
does
he's
act
trying
like
to build his own tree. That's why he keeps bringing guys in, his own guys.
Well, look,
Yep.
I'm
He's
gonna
trying to
be
build his
honest,
own
man. If he's
coaching
trying to
tree.
build his own tree, he's building the Charlie Brown Christmas tree right now.
Exactly.
I'm not being mean about it. I'm just being real.
And-
Like every
And that's from
assistant
my
he's
buddy.
brought
That's
in
from
is
my buddy
terrible.
Caples, because he's the one that brought that up to me today about the whole Belichick and Vrabel thing.
Yeah. Now, I mean, he has hit. To be fair, Arthur Smith. That was an internal promotion. I don't know. Was Dean Pease there before? Did he bring Dean Pease in? I can't remember.
He was playing at Atlanta, and then he brought him in as a defensive coordinator.
But I know the Arthur Smith was a promotion. I mean that, but you can't. I mean, you've moved guys around so much on this coaching staff, and you've hit on what, 2 of them? I mean, I just that doesn't keep your job in the NFL. I mean, if this was any other team we were talking about from the outside looking in, I mean, you're saying, why do they need that guy? At this point, I just taking emotions out of it. It looks rough. It does.
It really does.
Talent too. I mean, we gotta really look. Our team is depleted in talent. I mean, you cannot win with backup guys in the NFL. You just can't.
Well, look, man, to be honest, I talk about how bad J-Rob screwed us, but I don't think people really understand, especially people that don't watch or analyze football on a regular basis. The money, we're still paying Jones this year.
Yeah.
We're still paying that guy.
I did not want him.
Nobody did, dude. I mean, there was some people that were excited about it, but I don't know anybody else was. I wasn't. I was like,
truthfully, I didn't want D-Hop. I'm glad he's here now, but
I didn't want him. Now I was all about
he's an old
D-Hop.
receiver that we didn't have good luck with. We don't have
he's
good luck with old receivers.
Changing the status on
that. He's changed my mind.
Yeah,
he's the first wide receiver to change my mind. That we brought in.
I'm with you. I was a little concerned. I'm like, it brought back flashes of the Randy Moss and the Julio, and I'm like, oh no.
No, I'll tell you what, man. Yeah, I was done with Julio. When Julio came over, I wasn't excited.
Yeah.
But when D-Hop rumors started, I went nuts.
That dude still got it.
You can watch my shows for like 5 shows in a row, and I'm like, yeah, we're getting D-Hop. We're going to be great.
And
he's got one of the few bright spots on the team.
He's under contract for next year, correct?
Yes.
I mean, he was on a 2-year contract. That's what I thought. So
yeah,
and he doesn't have to stay, but I hope he does.
And I think Levis, any rookie quarterback, you need that veteran wide receiver to be able to talk to him on the sidelines and say, this is what I see, this is where I am. I mean, you need that veteran wide receiver, because I guarantee you, DeAndre Hopkins knows as much about the quarterback position as he does about the wide receiver position. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he can really coach a rookie up for sure.
Well,
and you saw that on the sideline.
Yep.
D-Hop is the biggest gift for Levis.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, that is pretty much it. Do y'all have anything to add to our terrible outing last Sunday or the
I just want to add
rumors?
one thing before I leave.
Sure, man.
Titan fans, I know it sucks right now, but we got to be here for each other. We got to cheer for our team. We can't just be the fans that show up when they're winning. We got to be there when they're losing. We have to be there for our team so they can have some kind of showmanship for the players. I mean, the players are feeling just as bad as we are, if not worse. You got to think how the players are feeling right now. They hate it.
I would hate to be a young guy on our team right now. I would not want to be a up and comer.
And we got all of our fans just bashing every player.
Oh man,
you know what I mean? It's just, come on. We got to be better, fans. Let's be better. Let's tighten the hell up. Let's show up next Sunday, and let's see what happens.
Good job, Scoob.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Y'all have a great night.
Yep. You too, man.
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else anybody wants to say?
Hey, we're going to Jacksonville, guys. They're coming off a huge loss. I know we want that high draft pick, but wouldn't it be nice to go into Jacksonville?
Crazy things happen in Jacksonville, don't they?
What Derrick Henry come out, hits a 250-yard rush game. I mean, things happen in Jacksonville, just like you said.
Records don't matter in Jacksonville.
That's right. That's right. So I say I'm here for it. Let's go get it. Tighten up, and I'm excited. I'm still here for it.
I'm a fan whether we're winning or losing. However, yeah, after watching Jaguars getting smacked in the mouth by the 49ers, I have a feeling this is going to be a revenge game for them. But hey, like you said, crazier things have happened in Jacksonville.
Yes,
it's Ratville.
I appreciate you having me, Maximus.
Hey, no problem, man. Y'all have a great night. Tighten up. Peace out.
Tighten up.
Tighten up.